YouTube, what up? It's your boy Crew, man. We are back with another reaction video today, man. I feel like I haven't done that hand motion in forever, man, but we are back with another reaction video today, man. Today we are here with a banger. Before we actually go ahead and get into any of that stuff, man, I want to say thank you to everybody who's watching this video right now. And of course, if you guys have not already hit that sub button and joined the family, man, make sure you guys join the crew. Hit that sub button, man. We're on the road to 6K. So I appreciate all of you guys taking the opportunity to watch this video and join the crew. Also, if you guys have not already hit that like button, run it up, man. You guys know it helps out the algorithm so much, man. Let YouTube know we're doing something right over here, man. If you guys don't know what to do, just go ahead and just jump all over that like button, man. But today we got a video from WearTesters, bro. So I'm very, very excited for this video. Now, you guys can't see the thumbnail, but I saw the thumbnail of this video and I kind of have an idea of where I think they're gonna go with it. It says, being a sneakerhead has never been better. This is a 35-minute video. I'm really excited to jump into it. So sit back, strap up, and let's go ahead and get into this video, man.
Hey, what's good, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got something a little bit different. We have a long-form topic discussion that we do periodically, and we are going to do it once again with our good friend DP over at Soul Savvy. Basically, the whole topic is why sneakers are currently awesome. I know that there's a lot of negativity.
We just did a video about why sneakers have been sitting, right? Why they've been sitting, and I think that's a great mindset to have when it comes to this. Is it bad? Is it good? And I think sneakerheads generally think that it's a good thing. And we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Out there, a lot of people are focused on the things that they cannot obtain, but there's so much good stuff out there that we just want to kind of highlight that, especially DP, where he's more focused on the logistics side versus myself, where I'm obviously like a product weirdo and I know too much about the things that we buy. So together with our powers combined, not quite Captain Planet.
Captain Planet!
But anyways, DP, go ahead and introduce yourself and then we will get started.
Thanks. The word you're looking for is expert, not weirdo.
Expert, weirdo, you know, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I'm the co-founder, CEO of Soul Savvy. If you're unfamiliar with us, we are an end-to-end platform for sneakerheads, not resellers. We try to make sneakers as fun as possible for people like you and me who wear their shoes. And again, I don't think sneakers has ever been better right now. And a lot of people are in this state of feeling, it sucks. I might retire. There's too much BS. I don't want to do this anymore. Whereas I'm looking at it going, wow, this has never been better. And that's what I want to talk about, because we got to shift that mentality. I think people are.
Which side are you on? Right now in the comments, which side are you on? Do you think that it's never been better? Oh my God, I'm so happy that I'm able to get these sneakers, and I'm so happy that shoes are sitting again. Or are you on the other side where you feel like, yo, I need stuff to sell out, or you know what I mean, I'm a reseller, I need to move my pairs? Like, which side are you on? I want to see where you guys are right now in the comment section. I got a feeling this is going to be a great video.
In the gutter.
I completely agree. I can't remember which video we just uploaded, but right in the beginning of it, I just kind of alluded to being a sneakerhead right now is probably like the best time ever, just because for somebody like me who grew up without enough funds to kind of like cultivate this habit of mine as a teenager or a young kid, always being into shoes, but now we're seeing all of these shoes that not only did we want as kids and we're adults now so we can afford it, but we're also getting all of these shoes that are damn near considered like relics or cult classics. And like this one right here, the Nike Mac Attack, a lot of people are bagging on these right now. I don't think that they quite understand the history, even though we try to explain it and everything. But this back in the 80s was just something really hot. You know what I mean? You kind of had to have been there to know. It's if you know.
And I think that there are definitely levels to sneakerheaddom. I'm gonna call it that, sneakerheaddom. There's definitely levels to it, and I think you don't have to be at top tier level to be considered a true sneakerhead, but there are different levels to this, man. There's guys who have so much time in the game that can't be replaced. Like, if you just were here before me and you got a chance to see a lot of the different waves and experience them in a different way than I experienced them, because maybe you were older and you were wearing them different, or you were able to buy them for yourself. Like, you didn't have to have your grandmother or your mother buy you a pair. You know what I mean? Like, there's different levels to sneakerhead them. And I really always say that, like, even about guys like Unbreakable Kicks, that's from my hometown, and I use him as an example. DNA Show, I use him as an example because their knowledge of sneakers is so broad and vast, and it's truly amazing to see people that have all that knowledge and can recall where they were, what they were doing, at X time for X sneaker. You know what I mean? And we I don't know if everyone truly aspires to get to that point, but I do know that maybe when I get to that phase in my career, or in my sneaker career, that I'll have those shoes that I can say, man, you just had to be there to see it.
Type of situation. But it's not just stuff like that. We've got product releasing from every brand from almost every era, both retro and new models alike. So there's so much stuff to choose from that you can really diversify your closet. If you're a true collector, there's literally a gem for everybody. It's not just about the collabs and the Hypebeast release. If you're a sneakerhead, we've all seen the lists. I've even done them myself, where it's like, oh, top 10 shoes that you should have if you're a sneakerhead. And for me, none of them should be collabs, and none of them should be a Travis Scott, and none of them should be Hypebeast release. It should all be classics, and then you dabble in some of those things. So, like I say, more about the back end. So, like, are you seeing a change in product quantities, or like if there's any examples, you can throw them out there? Obviously, buying online has been a little bit easier with bot protections.
Yeah, I mean, you make some great points there. The last couple of years, a lot of people were building their collections and focusing the shoes they were buying around, like, we can loosely call it the hypebeast stuff, or the collaborations, right?
I was gonna say, the only thing that I don't like is I really don't like the term hype beast. I don't know if you guys know that about me. I don't like the term hype beast. I feel like, because if there wasn't a negative I guess, attachment or connotation to the word hype beast, I wouldn't mind it as much. But I feel like some people gravitate towards different things. And just because they gravitate towards things that may be considered only high heat to you, or and you gravitate to things that are not high heat at all, there's no difference. You have your preference, and that person has their preference. So that's the only thing I don't like. And I like that he kind of cleared it up and said he didn't say hype beast.
But the challenge with that product is there's a period when it doesn't have the same luster, and it loses its interest because enough time has passed. But you know what never loses its luster? Chicago 1s, Chicago 2s, white cement 3s.
Very true.
Never goes away because it's
Very
a classic.
true.
It has a story that has passed the test of time over the years. And I think that's the first thing I want to point out. We're going through another retro cycle with Jordan and Nike, and stuff's coming back. So whether you're an OG or someone who's new to shoes, we just got Chicago Jordan 1s and white cement 3s within like 3 months of each other, right? Everything's coming back, right? We're going to see Bread 4s. Nike's going to go through the archives. We got Royal 1s in the holiday out of suede. Like, man, that alone is enough reason to be excited about sneakers right now. And to something that you also alluded to, because of the hype cycle we went through in 2020 and 2021, brands made a lot of decisions around inventory, around, we need to make more, justifiably, right? And to some degree, probably forecasted incorrectly because of resale kind of padding everything. Yeah. But there's a lot more people involved in sneakers now, to the point where they're making hundreds of thousands of pairs of a classic like white cement 3s, which is good for us, right? I think that shoe 2 years ago would have been like $500 on the aftermarket. Your size is as low as $250 right now, right? Again, to me, that's just like an amazing place to be, where it's like,
I like this term hype cycle. This hype cycle, like, I never really thought about it like that, but 2020, 2021, the pandemic, everybody's got all this extra money pushing it into sneakers. And I even said it, I think last year, 2022, at the end of 2021, early 2022, even like mid 2022, it seemed like we were getting so much hype, bro. Every live cop that we were doing on stream, everything that we were doing seemed like a big deal. All the dunks seemed like a big deal. All the everything seemed like a big deal, and it's like completely tapered off. So let me know what you guys think about this hype cycle.
like product is accessible again, and the right product is accessible.
I completely agree. As somebody that grew up loving a lot of these shoes, these classic colorways, the ones that have true stories to tell or stories attached to them, even personal ones for old school consumers, I think that those are some of the best products that you can find on shelves. Those are some of my favorites to see on a shelf as well. Like when I walk into a store and I see a Chicago 2 or I see a Cement 3 or a Fire Red 3 or whatever might be on there, I personally just get excited because it reminds me of what things used to be like when I was a kid, where you'd be able to walk into a store, touch the product, try it on. It's so much more fun when you can physically hold the thing and kind of like see how it works or fits before buying it. And that was a normal buying experience. Like I know that a lot of, there's not like a great correlation or whatever nowadays because buying a car is very similar to buying shoes, it seems like. But back in the day, you would never buy a car without test driving it.
Right.
Nowadays, obviously, you could build your car online and they'll ship it to you or whatever. And I get it, things are a little bit different, but that's kind of like what it is with an everyday product, where you want to make sure that it's right for you before you spend your money. I think that the brands focused too hard on these hyped releases, these collabs. I understand their purpose for them because they're supposed to be to draw in new customers. The downside is that they were drawing in customers that were using their product to make profit. It was not a true customer where you're building a relationship, you're building a new relationship at that, and you're really trying to cultivate that person to being a lifelong customer with you. And they didn't do that. That's what we're seeing right now, where when I walk into stores, everything's supposedly a brick because it won't resell. And I'm kind of like,
I hate the term brick. I hate the term brick, bro, because somebody likes that shoe, fam. Just because I don't necessarily care for it, or another person does, or what if I care for the brick? What if I like the brick? Are you gonna call my shoe a brick because I like it and you don't? That's weird, man. That's weird. That's weird. I'm glad he's saying that. Now the everything about the buying experience, I think that was the best time, man. It was the best time where you can just walk in, grab a shoe. Hey, you guys got this in a size 13. Yeah, let me bring that out to you. You sit down, you try it on. You even kind of walk in a little bit, see how you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have that. So I think that that's part of the reason why unboxing videos and early looks and early reviews do so well, because the lack of the opportunity to be able to go into the store, try it on for yourself. Now you have to look to a trusted person in the community for their opinion on how something looks or how something fits. That's crazy. I mean, it is crazy. It's crazy. It's cool in a sense, but also it's crazy that I can't do that for myself. So now I gotta look at Jay the Sneaker Guy. Now I gotta go look for Tony D 2 Wild. Now I gotta go find Crew. You know, if I'm able to get a pair, or but so many people get early pairs. They give you that perspective early on, and a lot of times people don't know how to make their own opinion, right? They don't know how to do that. So if X person says it's hot, then it's hot. If X person says it's trash, then it's trash or a brick. And that's crazy, man. Let me know how you guys feel about that.
Like, that doesn't mean anything. You're supposed to be able to walk in and grab something like this and then try it on. Like, a lot of people don't know what the Airship PE is. It would be best to introduce them to something classic like a Chicago or like something like this, and then you drop off the special releases like a Spider-Man 1 or whatever. And so I just think that right now it's so awesome. Like, right in front of me, I'm just gonna go through it real quick, but I got the Spider-Man 1s, obviously a hyped release, so take that for what it is. The Airship PEs are sitting everywhere because they're not widely available. You've got And One Tai Chi's. This shoe back in my day was awesome. So like, just to see those back is amazing. The Converse Weapon, like the true OG, obviously they did the Energy launch first, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna see OG colorways soon. We've got stuff like the Air Hirachi B-Ball. I mean, we've got an 85 version of the Air Jordan 1 finally. Like, it's taken 30 years, but we're back. They've remastered completely the Air Jordan 2. They look amazing. I already talked about the Mac Attack. We've got stuff like the Jumpman Pro. Yes, it's a bastardized version, but it's awesome. It's a classic. And then if you're new, we've got plenty of new stuff. People say that stuff like this dilutes or ruins the shoe, and I disagree. I think that it just kind of diversifies the shoe, because how many times can you buy a Chicago 1, which That's a rhetorical question because the answer is every time. But
Right.
when you see something new like these washed black Jordan 1s, like this is a fresh new colorway. You can't even deny that. Like this is just a clean shoe that you
Yeah,
can
it's
beat
fire.
around and then bust out your Chicago's at special occasions.
Absolutely. And like being able to walk into a store and buy your fire red threes and think about it and touch and feel the materials. I mean, that's again a great place for a consumer to be. Another reason to be happy about shoes. This sneaker, the Vomero 5 Dornbecker, is really
The damn Vomero, bro. Bro, I'm so mad. And I was, you know what? I think I got caught up in the fact that I didn't know what it was. And I'm not the kind of person who just buys stuff I feel like I have to have seen it on. I feel like I have to have like tried it on or seen it in a space where I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. But I got caught not knowing what this shoe was. I've seen it on feet several times. So fire.
interesting. This released with little to no fanfare. Actually, I had a friend walked into a store midday at DTLR, grabbed me a size 11 and shipped it to me for retail. Awesome, right? I think 3 weeks later, 2 weeks later, it was all over Instagram and got fed into the hype machine, the hype cycle, and went from selling barely for retail on aftermarket to literally being $500.
That's
right? So we
crazy.
see like the damage that cycle can do to a product. Like this is now not accessible anymore. But it doesn't change the fact that this Vomero 5 is also just as damn good and available everywhere if you want to go try it out, right? So that's one of the things I'm really grateful for right now as a sneakerhead is I can just go out, buy product. If I have an itch to get a shoe, I can go to the mall, try some things on, think about it, see how I feel about it, et cetera, et cetera. There's no pressure to hit buy it online and have that regret when you really didn't get a chance to think about it. And I think one of the bigger impacts is people were reselling kids' shoes. That's where I definitely draw the line to this entrepreneurship aspect that resellers want to take. Families should be able to go get gifts for someone under 15 and not have to consider that it being like half their mortgage or something like that, or not paying for groceries, right? So overall, I think a very positive things for families and consumers alike.
Oh, I agree. Seeing the stuff with the Fly Ease models.
Oh God,
those were made for
people reselling Fly Ease, bro. Like, where does it stop? Where does it stop? Where does the morals kick in? Jeez, bro. Kid shoes, like I get it. I mean, I guess I get it. I don't know, man. Like I feel weird about it. I wouldn't resell kid shoes. But the Fly Ease, bro, this is meant for people who like I guess can't bend down to like tie their shoes and took advantage of that too. Like, where does it stop? Like, where does it stop? Jeez, bro.
Specific demographic. Talk about like they were finally included, yet they were being automatically excluded by what we call the community. And it's so difficult to navigate through things right now, especially if you're a newcomer, because everything's so muddled. It's like they think that resellers are part of the community instead of just leeches off of the community. And I know that there are some resellers that are genuinely into sneakers. I understand that. I know a bunch of them. I've been friends with a bunch of them for a number of years, but I'm talking about the new ones, the ones that rushed in after the last dance.
Resellers
like,
leeches?
My old Jordans are worth something, like let's capitalize on this. And
or
then
do
all
you
of a
think we
sudden
need
there's 15 resale stores inside of a mall instead of actual retail stores? Like that's just really sad. So it's just really weird to see where things have gone in such a short amount of time. I know that you and I think it was our first time talking together in video where I was saying how this is not going to last for the companies and they were not making the right adjustments quick enough to basically adjust for today's time, which again isn't far from where we were just 2 years ago. So do you see anything changing for the better as far as like to help the brands out, or are they just trying to pivot as quickly as possible?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a little bit of a reality check happening that they probably weren't prepared for, which the economy is definitely contributing towards. But they realize they have to get back to storytelling. They have to get back to the community. They have to get back to the roots that made sneaker culture what it is, right? Which is ultimately the people. The people drive the product and the demand for the product and overall what happens within the culture. It's not how much that shoe is worth. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. That will fizzle away. And we're seeing that with how they're activating again, how they're releasing that airship you held up. That shoe went to neighborhood Nike accounts. So think of that as a boutique. That went to them 2 weeks ago with the mandate of don't sell it online. Make people come in store to buy this shoe. We want people to walk into your stores and buy them. And a lot of stores followed those rules. Some didn't. They dropped them online. I saw it because that's how I got mine.
That's how I got my red pair. I did not see the blue one anywhere though. So was that a mandate for both colorways or was it for one?
For both. Where'd you get the red pair?
Over at corporate.
So we just saw a message, I think from Business Insider, in reference to Nike making some organizational changes to try to figure out this whole thing, because they're saying that Jordans have gone stale, Air Maxes have gone stale, and basically what the other guy said about them getting back to storytelling is what I've been saying. But obviously, you know, we're small over here, we're a smaller channel over here, so you know, when we talk, you know, people aren't really listening in that way, but they got to listen to the people. We want a story, man. We want a story. We want design. I think Nike is Nike, and I'm talking about Nike in particular, because they feel that they have to innovate and make something, reinvent the wheel. And I don't think they have to really reinvent the wheel. I used an example in the stream about, what was it? The shoe that's made out of space garbage, space hippies, right? Space hippies. That's inventive, right? That's innovative, but that doesn't really resonate with everyone. Like that's not everyone's mission. You know what I mean? So I think if they get back to the story, they get back to making sure that actual people get the shoes, we'll see a turnaround.
Right. Those are good people though.
What do you guys think about it?
Stuff goes online. Nike probably doesn't care that much, but that was the rule. And some stores have followed that rule. Some have not. It's not a serious rule. No one's gonna get in store, but that was the ask, was make people come in store. I got my pair online at Lapstone and Hammer. They did in store as well. And again, the idea is like, let's bring people in the stores, let them touch it, let them feel it. Let's get away from this internet sometimes. And now they're going to drop online. So there's a fill up. If you have extra inventory, it's going to release online, which, shameless plug, that's why I love our drops app, right? I wanted that pair. I'm like, I don't have a store near me that's going to get it. I plugged in Airship Blue and I waited for it to hit, and it was beautiful and it was delivered with free shipping. But we're seeing that more, right? Spider-Verse activations, the Skyline Jordan 1s, the neighborhood exclusives, the Heirlooms, the Rebellionaires. They're trying to get people back together off of sneaker Twitter into their local stores, conversating, meeting each other, because I think that's a very healthy thing for this culture. And I think that's a pivot that we've seen, obviously, coming out of lockdown, and that era of whatever we lived through being gone is helping that. But it's obviously a healthy sneaker culture is one that you and me can wait in line, meet in a store, grab a beer, and just like enjoy it as people, because that definitely got taken away from us over the last couple years, and that sucked.
Yeah, no, I think that social media is a big gift and a curse. Obviously, there's some really positive things with it. For me personally, like obviously we have this business and channel and stuff like that, and that started as just a side thing, a passion project. I was working full-time, multiple side gigs and stuff, and then I just decided to make a YouTube video one day, and you know, eventually it grew into what it is now. So like, I just think that it's really cool that we are able to continue to use at least this platform on our channel to talk to real consumers, you know what I mean, on a real level, where I can share my stories and what I remember, but then we can also get a whole lot of different feedback from everybody else that's watching. Because I think that some people forget in today's world of connectivity that back when sneakerheads were being born, there was no internet, there was no social media. The most that we would have, like when I graduated high school, eBay was new. That's how I got my first pair of ones. And so being able to communicate and be like, hey, this is what I remember from where I'm from, like what do you remember from where you're from? Because
and it goes back to exactly what I said a few minutes ago in the earlier part of the video, is I feel like there's different levels of where you are in your sneakerheaddom. Like, right? Like he may be at level 4. I don't know what the highest level is. He may be at level 5. I might be at level 2. You know, there might be people at level 1. And it's like, we all have to like get together and really just pick each other's brains and talk about like, what's your favorite sneaker? What's my favorite sneaker? What's your favorite silhouette? What's your favorite? You know what I mean? And like, just really vibe out, man. I think this is dope.
Everybody's from a different location. Styles here in the Bay Area were way different than over on the East Coast, and Midwest was different. Some of them don't even have sneaker stores, you know what I mean? So like for them, online shopping is crucial. And so it's just really interesting to be able to kind of like revert back, not too far back to where it's like the old West days and stuff, but like be able to communicate and still push the passion and not just like profit and stuff, being like, oh yeah, these are gonna sit or sell, or anything. Like that's such garbage content. And I don't mean any shade by anybody that makes that type of content, you know what I mean, or anybody that watches it. It's just for somebody like me, where I grew up in a completely different era.
Wait. What did he
that's
say?
not
Hold
the
on, let
way
me
to
go
look.
back.
I mean, or anybody to watch such garbage. The passion far back to where it's like the old West days and stuff, but like be able to communicate and still push the passion and not just like profit and stuff, being like, oh yeah, these are gonna sit or sell or anything. Like that's such garbage content. And I don't mean any shade by anybody that makes that type of content, you know what I mean, or anybody that watches it. It's just for somebody like me, where I grew up in a completely different era, that's not the way to look at product. You know what I mean? Like that's the way to look at stocks, like actual things that have value, not shoes that will disintegrate over a decade or two's worth of time.
Absolutely. And I think a point I want to touch on.
I'm glad he cleared up that sit or sell thing, but I think that a lot of people, even when we're in our streams, the first thing that someone asks is, what's the resale value on it? It's like, bro, you don't own the shoe yet. You haven't even hit on it yet. Why do we care about what resale value is on it? So I think that that type of content has been created to fulfill a need. That's all.
Around this is the variety of product and the uniqueness of the product releasing right now. And I saw a clip on one of the social media accounts from someone who posted on TikTok. His name is Chris Chance. His Instagram is Chris in the URL. He was talking about how everyone's a clone. He really thoughtfully broke it down, and I'm forgetting it, so I'm not going to try to repeat it. But the concept was, you and me developed our own sense of style and taste and uniqueness through exploration of product that touched the field to see, who am I, what do I want to wear? And obviously that got taken away from a lot of people. And footwear taste, that you don't have to be beholden to a Travis Scott or an SB4 or any of that stuff that comes the most headache. It can be Hoka, Asics, Salomon, Saucony. On, if that's what you're into. New Balance has carved its own lane. Jordan Retros is still doing their thing, but in unique, creative ways. The Spider-Verse, the Lost and Found, the Reimagined. You can be a happy sneakerhead wearing a really good Asics like this, right? Which I pre-ordered 8 months ago because I was like, these look dope and I want to wear these. And they showed up to my door. And guess what? It didn't matter to me what they were worth, what people wanted to do. They just showed up, right? And even something like this Concepts Air Max 1, I remember when this dropped, and I want to say it was last year, but time is evading me with, I don't even know if it was last year. But it feels like it was like 12 to 14 months ago. This was a really hard shoe to get, and it's available for retail or less right now. Like literally on our marketplace, Collect, it's like $200, and the retail was $250 on this. It was expensive, right? People are selling stuff they bought at peak hype because they thought they wanted it, not because they actually loved it, which again is another perk, man. Like product is accessible, there's creativity, they're unique. Look at this thing. Nike would have never released something like this a decade ago, right? Asics would have never been able to collaborate and do something like this. And that's a beautiful thing to me. The collaborations and the diversity of product is allowing for different storytelling, uniqueness, and people got to lean into that. It's a really, really good time for product diversity and brands all across the spectrum. And that's,
I think if it looks fire, if it looks dope, I think people will gravitate to it and purchase it. I just don't think that you can put out BS and then think that people are gonna purchase it. So that's where my line draws. Like the silhouette of a Solomon, I don't like it currently at this.
Probably one of my favorites.
My bad. Currently at this current moment, I don't like the look of a Solomon. I don't like it. Asics, honestly, I don't mind a dope Asic. I don't mind it. New Balance, there's definitely been pairs that I like. I just haven't pulled the trigger on them yet, and I'm still trying to get over that myself. But if I could go back and get the ones that I really like, then I would go back and get those. Not even like super duper hype pairs, but I've definitely seen some pairs that I like and I would cop. But I think that at first it has to look good first. It has to look good. It can't just be, you shouldn't diversify your sneaker collection if it means like sacrificing what you actually like. Like you just don't get it just to have one, just to say, okay, it's diversified.
For things right now.
I agree. Like we live in a day where 80s culture and fashion is very prevalent. Even like 90s stuff is like really hardcore back with today's like high schoolers and everything. But we also live in a time where there's auto lacing sneakers. It's some of the coolest like weird stuff happening where it's like, bro, something from 30 plus years ago is still hot today, but we also have shoes that you can put on without hands. It's just some of the coolest stuff that we've ever seen as anyone into sneakers or as like old school actual sneakerheads and stuff. So I think it's just really, really cool that this is the sneaker landscape that we live in. It just sucks is that people are complaining about what feels like them missing out on a cop or a drop, but are you truly missing out because you really, really, really wanted that thing, or because you really, really wanted to flip it?
FOMO is the worst drug of all time. There's the flip, but then there's like the fear of missing out on something because everyone else has it or is getting it, or it's the thing everyone's talking about today.
Yo!
Which is why I always tell members, take that L, take a deep breath, put it aside for a month and revisit it in a month when you've ultimately probably seen 40 more sneakers released because there's a dozen a week happening. You've spent some money. You've gotten your distance yourself from that quote unquote L, right? And I think that
FOMO is the worst, bro. FOMO is the worst. And I think sometimes we do get caught up in this, and I will agree. I can't detach myself from the FOMO. There's some pairs that drop, and I don't care. I'll never think about them ever again. But some pairs like the SB4, I'm going to use that one for an example. The SB4 and the Lost and Found one, I had FOMO about, right? The Spider-Man drop, I didn't have FOMO about that because I personally don't really like it. I just thought it was, I had to see it in hand. Maybe I would love it more, but that's one that I kind of regret even buying, but that's a whole nother story. But the FOMO drug, I say it all the time. When people have FOMO, that drives prices up. So if we all kind of, like you said, take a deep breath, take the L, revisit it in a month, come back to it, see if you still have those same feelings for it. My thing is, I always say if you're not looking at like GOAT or StockX or whatever platform you use right after to see like where it is, if you would pull the trigger, you probably don't really want it. But then also the other side of my brain says, don't look at it and just wait. Just wait. Because you never know. You might be making that decision based off these current feelings of, I just missed out. I'm seeing Gotham screens all on Instagram. Everyone's dropping their W's and sneaker W's in Discord. And that might skew your decision making. So it is a good idea to stop. Take a minute. Come back to it later and then see if you like it. But listen, guys, hold on. This is a 35-minute video. I think this is a very good time to stop it. This is part 1. Being a sneakerhead has never been better with WearTesters part 1. I will be dropping part 2. Stay tuned for that one as well, man. If you guys are enjoying this discussion, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that like button, man. Do not forget to also subscribe to the channel as well. If you guys are new around here, we do these reaction style videos all the time. I love to listen to the minds of my sneakerhead peers. Again, make sure you guys go over to their video, give them a sub. Make sure you guys go over and hit the like button on their video. I will drop the link to that in the description below. But we're going to stop it here and be on the lookout for part 2. I'm out. Peace. Peace, peace, peace. I'm gone.